Hello, everyone, and Happy New Year. It is Wednesday, January 17th, 4 p.m., and we're about to begin the Orange County Funding Corporation Finance Committee meeting. We'll call the meeting to order, and roll call of officers, please, Bill.
Yes, so for current committee member, Dean Tamburi,
Present.
Mark Green,
Present.
James Rinaldi is not here, but we still have a quorum, and we have Mr. Jeff Christ who's going to be joining the committee in about an hour. So that's what we have at the moment. And of course, myself, Bill Fioravanti, Kelly Riley is staff, Jose Rojas with acquisitions marketing, and Shannon Manisi, our external CFO with RBT via Zoom.
Thank you. Proof of notice, the meeting was noticed properly and is attached to our minutes. And the minutes for the December 20th OCFC Finance Committee meeting that are attached, they were sent out. Unless anybody has any questions or comments for changes, I would ask for a motion to approve.
It's going to be you two here today, so you guys are going to handle it all today.
And then
Thank you, Mark.
So move.
Mark.
Okay.
And I will second
You
it.
should.
And I guess we're both in favor.
Oh, yeah. Very good.
Okay, thank you. New business, the approval of the December 2023 financials.
Yeah, we'll go right to page 5 in your OCFC packet for our income statement for December 23, and we'll let Shannon run you through that. Pretty simple month.
Thank you.
So I just want to point out on both OCFC and the IDA, the budget versus actual, since December is not closed yet and we're in the process of doing stuff for the audit, you're not going to see any budgeted amounts because they're going to change, and we didn't want to present numbers that were going to change. The actuals as they stand right now are the way that they are, but they could change, and the final budget versus actual will be trued up once the audit is complete. So I just wanted to point that out. You have interest earnings.
real quick, what's the time frame on that?
They were there last week to do the audit, which is early. And not all of your accruals are in because you still have expenses that are coming in that are related to 2023. So we did book some of them this week. I just don't know what their time frame is. I think all of their requests but one have been satisfied. To my knowledge, Kelly can speak to that, but I'm just answering questions that Kelly can't or doesn't have access to.
The goal would be by next meeting?
I would think so that they were in this early, but you are required to file it by 3/31 with the ABL.
Okay, thank you.
So it needs to be done well before then, so they can present it to the board. I'm not sure what meeting has been assigned for that, whether it's February or March.
Yeah, our audit committee is March 6th, Wednesday, March 6th, so that we can have them present to that committee in advance, and any changes that need to be made in advance of that next board meeting. That's really, I believe, the deadline I gave them, was that meeting, right?
Yes.
And a draft to me in advance of that, but yeah.
So March 6th is the
That's our audit committee meeting.
audit committee.
Right.
Okay, all right. So
Right.
it's actually-
And then we have another one in May.
And you had said that we're waiting from some responses. What is?
Yeah, so they're drilling down on some information that is available in QuickBooks, but they keep asking questions. So there's one request for me that I have yet to respond to just because I haven't had the time to figure out how they want me to respond to it since the information is already in there.
Okay. No, that's okay. I thought this was like more of the other, that every once we have to send information out to some of our vendors, but that's for the.
That's in advance of the audit.
Okay.
That's really Kelly and mostly Marty, really kind of bear the brunt of that. And they sent letters out to all of them, confirmation letters, right,
Correct.
to confirm all the.
And that's we always have an issue with them a lot of times. that
We do.
goes in a timely manner.
Continue to improve the letter, and Kelly and Marty improved it
Yeah,
again.
that's to verify the incentives and employment data usually, and that is not just common to your organization, but that is all public authorities have a hard time getting those responses back.
And you'll recall, Dean, that we updated our fee schedule and we added a fee for that, so that we actually had a little meat. Of course, we can always threaten to reclaim their benefits, but it's not the action we want to take for missing a report. But we do. There's a fee we can assess, and we added that in the letter now. So that's kind of I have a little bit of teeth in there.
And I think their deadline is like no later than the second week of February, that they have to get that information back to us.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Okay, so for OCFC for December, there was 24,578 of interest earnings on a CD that matured. You'll see I booked the accrual for the audit since we had the engagement letter, so that's the $6,000 there under the fiscal audit. You had professional fees, which was the Harris Beach invoice that was originally paid by the IDA for the $47.73 there. And then you're going to see bad debt expense recovery. So last year, we reserved for what we thought was going to be uncollectible, and you actually collected a little more in 23 than what was anticipated. So you're getting some of that back in the form of an adjustment to your income. And then you had some legal expenses of just over $3,000. So for the month of December, OCFC showed a profit of $16,000 as it stands right now, but we could have some more accruals which might reduce that.
Okay.
And then if you go to the next page, you'll see that there's one CD for $547,000, and there's 1.368 in the bank, and that's just timing of the rolling of matured CDs into the new CDs.
Yeah, we keep it cleaner, of course,
So
that'll be coming out again.
that's coming out.
Yeah.
We're just waiting for this one. No.
No, this is,
So
So we're gonna see
in
us, yeah.
January, we opened up a CD
Gotcha.
for the T-bill for almost the 600,000, and then also another CD for 600,000. But that was in January, because the one
yeah, it's not gonna reflect
CD
the
didn't,
budget.
there was one CD that didn't expire until I think January 4th.
Yep. Beautiful. Beautiful.
Any questions on that?
No. I don't. With that, we'll, is these together? Bill?
Yeah, I guess,
Can we go right through it?
yeah, we might as well.
Yes.
And, you know, Kelly, why don't I let you present on this here? Just so it is.
The payables for the attorney was the $331.12, and then our insurance for William A. Smith was $4904.80.
And Shannon, we'll kick it back to you for the resiliency loan fund, if that's okay.
Sure. As of year end, there was a balance of $54,080 left on the loans. Majority of that is still reserved for, and you still have the two that have no payments of the $20,000 to date.
Okay.
Shannon, can I just ask, can you please, you and I last talked about the bad debt and how we were gonna approach that for the audit and such. Can you just kind of recap how we're gonna approach that?
Sure. So really, we looked at how many have made payments recently, and I think there was only one that is still currently paying. So that's the only amount that's really listed as a true open receivable. The rest of it has been fully allowed for. So it doesn't really hurt the OCFC in regards to the way that the financial statements are presented. If you were to collect any money on any of those accounts, it would just show as income. Because really, when they're paying down on the loans, you don't really get the income. It just reduces the receivable. But because we've already written it off, at this point, you'd actually get income back. Because you've already taken the expense in previous years. So that's the only thing that would really happen.
As a recovered bad debt?
And then I think that we need to really decide maybe during 24 if any of these you're going to go after, because if not, I think at that point we clean up the books completely and get it all off.
Let me say something like June.
In the end of May is when our.
May is when I believe the
down
software
solution.
renewal is up.
Right.
Gotcha. All right, so we'll make a decision by May.
And you can always track it in Excel at that point and save the $1,500 or whatever it
What
is.
we're planning to do is,
Yeah.
Yes.
we think there was still
Okay.
be a chance to recover something. Go to approvals then?
Yes, and any other questions or comments? I'm gonna ask for a motion to approve the December 2023 financials, the approval of the January 2023 payables, and the approval of the COVID-19 resiliency loan update. make that motion.
I'll second.
Look at that, all right.
All in favor?
Excellent.
I already said it, aye.
Terrific. Do that together.
And nothing else, well, yeah. As for a motion of adjournment, I'll make the motion.
I second.
Good thing we'll be here a while, if not. In favor, aye. Thank you. 4:10 PM, meeting adjourned. With that, we are going to open up the IDA Finance Committee at 4:12 PM, Wednesday, January 17th, 2024. Call the meeting to order. Roll call,
Dean Tamburri,
present.
Mark Green,
Present.
right, 2 out of 3 committee members, one is, Mr. Rinaldi is absent. Mr. Jeff Christ will be joining the committee, he's with us as well. Myself, Bill Fioravanti, Kelly Riley, as staff, Mr. Jose Rojas from Acquisitions Marketing, and Shannon Manisi, our external CFO from RVT.
Thank you, Bill. Proof of notice attached to our meeting information. It was properly noticed. And we'll go on to the minutes. Everybody needs a minute, or Mark and I need a minute to take a look at the minutes of December 20, 2023. And ask for a motion. I'll make a motion for that to approve. Please, okay.
Motion.
Motion, I'll second. In favor? Aye. Motion carries. And new business to approve for the financials of 2023. And again, Shannon, if you would, just, if you do all 3 items. Or actually, the third one, I think Mark does, but then we'll approve them all in one time. Thank you.
Okay. So looking at page 5 of your packet, for the month of December, the IDA had $83,674 in interest on the CD that matured. If you scroll down to the expenses, there's $19,000 that was booked for the fiscal audit that the IDA is currently going through. You'll see there's a credit there of $39.29. That's the Harris Beach invoice that was originally paid by the IDA, but was actually OCFC. Since it was originally hit to this line item, that's the line item that we hit it back to make sure that at the end of the year, all the numbers are accurate for the professional fees paid to Harris Beach for the IDA. There's $2,000 in membership and events is the New York State EDC. And you'll see there's local labor auditing fees, and that's mainly Legoland, in addition to the standard monthly fee that the IDA incurs. And then going down to payroll expenses, you'll see a new item. It's the $63,000 for retirement and profit sharing. That's just funding a new plan. And then depreciation expense under buildings, that's the annual expense that we book as part of the audit. That's the amount of assets that are being expensed for the current year. So that's just a financial statement only adjustment. It doesn't affect any cash. But you do have the expense since you're on accrual basis. So at the end of December, there was a net loss of $72,003.53. Any questions on any?
And the only other thing I'll add is back up under administrative costs, the $2,800 and change under travel, lodging, and meals. I believe that's mostly my expense reimbursement for the year.
Oh yeah, that's your mileage for the year. If we flip to the next page, it is the summary of the bank accounts and CDs. So the operating account had $2,541,578. The escrow accounts are $79,033. That's amount owed back to those that have put in, so it's not really the IDA's money. And CDs were just shy of $7 million at $6,899,136. So overall, you have $9,519,747 in cash, CDs, and escrow accounts.
So, the same thing, timing issue,
Yeah.
right? So that I'm assuming roughly two million.
Well, we just opened up that $5 million CD, so.
Because you're adding the one that matured in one.
Yeah, well, and then the T-bill matured in
Right, so
January.
you're adding that roughly 3 million T-bill plus the 2 million, that's in, so
Yeah,
giving you
and
a
then we
net of
opened up
about
a
500
CD.
grand sitting in the checking account, right, for miscellaneous.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Beautiful, all right, so that's taken care of. Those are coming due, we don't have to worry about, okay, beautiful.
Yeah. Very good, so we did that, and the payables.
Payables, I can run through that.
Okay.
It's really pretty, most things are standard. Our copier, next is our rent and cam here for the headquarters, our advertisement through Mid-Hudson News, cleaning, telephones, credit card is most of the usual stuff, supplies, paying some of our bills because of timing wise, a lot of our electronic stuff, Google Suite, things like that. Staffing, salaries and such, our marketing companies and capacity, again, our phone rentals, now the actual phone units, some pest control for Warwick. I'll remind you that I spoke to the new town supervisor in Warwick. We're getting out of that site at the end of May, he knows that. And then our other credit card, again, where we have some of our online services. And then the last piece is for the stenographer for the Lynch's or Castle public hearing. So all pretty standard for the most part. That's our recurring services. Page 8 are our monthly contracts. So we have a recurring kind of a retainer with 88 Studios for our to maintain our current website, which needs it. It's always having trouble. We presented that. The rest is our general counsel and our new social media marketing firm that we're working with, Acquisitions Marketing, and the work that they do for AV for our meetings. The last is the all other, our Chamber of Commerce membership, Orange County Chamber, our professional liability insurance renewal, our stay at the conference coming up for New York State EDC in February. The podcast that I've been doing, the recordings for that, is our next expenses there. Chase Connect, that is as Shannon talked about in the income statement, that is for our deferred compensation for 2023. You see the mileage for me that I mentioned, Central Hudson for this location, and then a second set of invoices for Pamela Broadcasting for our radio spots and podcasts. So that is your third section of payments.
You think the podcast's been going pretty well?
I get texts all the time from people and calls from people, both mostly professional, but even people from other regions, even family have told me upstate and downstate that they've heard some of it. So, and I say the same thing. It's not cheap, so I'm glad to hear people are listening to it. So I've honestly gotten maybe the best response I've had from anything I've done out there, where just the number of messages I get and people that I see that comment on it. So, and they think that it's positive and worth listening to. So. Still trying to perfect it, but so far so good. I really do feel good about it.
All right. Very good.
Just one last item on here with the CD.
All right, my thought, I assume you're asking my thought?
Well, yeah. Do you need to refresh his memory, Kelly?
I believe in the last meeting, Mark, you had said that we were gonna put that into the checking account and wait for the other one to come due, and then you're gonna do one bigger CD.
Yeah, that was my thought.
Okay.
Thank you.
That's it.
That's all she wrote. Unless anyone has any other questions. Especially while we have Shannon.
Questions, comments for this finance committee meeting? If not, I'm gonna ask for a motion. Just from Mark or I to approve the December 2023 financials, approval of the January 2024 payables, and their certificates of deposit information and then maturity dates.
I will make that motion.
I'll second. All in favor? Aye. Motion carries, and we are adjourned the finance committee meeting at 4:20 p.m. Wednesday, January 17th. Thank you for everyone for attending. And we will see you, at the IDA meeting will be.
5 p.m.
5
Do you
p.m.
make the motion, the adjournment?
Motion to adjourn, I'll make the motion, Mark second. All in favor,